get on. We trying to, you know, get our foot in the door, you know.
He was like, let me hear y'all next. You know what I mean? Say, spit something.
Spit something right now.
You know what I mean? And it was like outside at like a festival or something, so, you know what I mean? Long story short, we want to sound too sharp. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we still end up hooking up with that nigga and working on another demo. And then, you know what I mean, from that little demo, we hooked up with Loud Records.
Prez's first album is called Let's Get Free, which was released in 2000, which we worked on pretty much from the time that me and my partner met in Florida up until we generally knew that we were going to be able to put the record out through a major label and got us a recording contract with Loud Records, who at that time was distributed by RCA BMG and then later moved to Sony. So that's our relationship to the quote-unquote major labels, is through Loud Records in the beginning, Steve Rifkin being the president and CEO of that. Our music crossed genres all the way. We were doing warp tours, Lollapalooza, skateboard tours, X Games shit, when we didn't want to be doing it, because we were obviously crossed into that market from the beginning. We didn't want that. We wanted to make a revolutionary album. We wanted to make Bob Marley, Peter Tosh music.
Let me tell you what happened. Every time RBG's, our army, people army, this particular revolutionary culture segment come in front of you, we don't intend to bullshit you at all. We intend to use hip-hop for what it was rightfully meant for. Now I mean, as a weapon, a tool to get us where the fuck we supposed to be. Yeah. With that being said, I promise you, and salute on the RBG flag and the brothers and comrades, my ancestors behind me and my comrades on the stage, that we will never, ever, 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 ever bring you. Ever, ever? Never. 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 Never bring you no motherfucking fake records.
We were set up to record RBG. The reason why it took so long between Let's Get Free and RBG, a Revolutionary but Gangsta, was because we were resituating ourselves on a record label, on Loud Records. It had gone through transition. It had got a new distribution situation, so we couldn't get in. The budgets weren't open for us to make albums, so we went in the studio and made other stuff until we could get in and make the proper album, which was going to be RBG, and that was around 2004. 2004 came, and we were shifted totally to Sony Records. No more Loud. Loud was totally dissolved. And Sony Records, which is a huge conglomeration, Columbia and the rest, did not quite understand Dead Prez and had not understood like how to kind of market like the rebel culture, you know what I mean? And so since we couldn't see eye to eye at Sony, we opted to be released from the record label. And after we were released from the record label, which we were more than happy to do, because we saw independence at that time as a blessing. And to be independent of the major label, to be independent of their meetings, their processes, their bureaucracy, their ties through the money, everything. We saw it as a blessing to be off the record label. Even though everybody was trying to get a record deal, we had a record deal since 1995, which had gone crazy. It took us 4 or 5 years to put out the first album, and then so that by the time 2004 came along, we were ready to not be on a major label anymore.
We've been doing music professionally for like 10 years and some change, 20 years in the culture though, you know what I mean?
God in the building. Forever. The first people to ever, since the day I came home from jail, man, these guys embraced me. They brought me to the studio. They had a studio in Brooklyn. Remember, we was on Washington Avenue somewhere. Right there in the crib, they was like, yo, you welcome here anytime. Let me sleep on the floor. Anything I needed, these brothers been there for me from day one. And I love these brothers, man.
Real niggas get the 5-0. This is M1DP. Don't you forget, cause you can talk, but that don't mean shit. I ain't gotta pop your top and see where your brains went. This rap shit is
DP played a major role in influencing me. Not influencing me in the sense of like what it was I was about, but feeling comfortable saying it. Feeling like it was cool to take a stance, you know what I'm saying, and speak on something that was real and not be boxed out. And what's sick is, we'll pay $50 to be called a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Artists like DP that's talking about uplifting on folks, not just because of the message, but because they bang.
Turn off the radio. They turn off that bullshit. They turn off the radio. They turn off that bullshit. Frisco, they turn off the radio. They
Music is our vehicle to freedom.
But they don't want to use it to sell us no revolution.
Walk like a warrior. What you got to do? Walk like a warrior. So give this true. Walk like a warrior. Don't get brand new. Walk like a warrior.
Other record labels started to come at us and say, well, then why won't you try to be with us? And that's when the Diddy's of the world stepped up, and the Virgin and the Capitals and of the world stepped up, and we began to take meetings with different A&Rs and record label execs who were ready to hear the sound that Dead Prez had from what we had done. That's also the time, because we were meeting with Jay, when I was able to connect with him, go in the studio, because we already had made a record on Sony, but when released, we walked away with the record called RBG, or Revolutionary But Gangsta. So as we were going around, we were playing people this record that never came out on Sony, and then Jay-Z heard a song, which is the one he calls the Pizza Man song. He's like, yo, let's do the Pizza Man song. And we ended up recording his feature during the time that we had left the record label. We recorded a feature with Jay, who also wanted us to think about or entertain a record deal at Rockefeller at that time. And then we talked to Diddy, and we ended up at the end of that year of 2004, by the end of 2004, 2005, Sony Records came back into the picture and made a better offer than any one of them monetarily. And then we ended up signing back to Sony Records in 2005, which is why RBG got put out on Sony at that time, and wasn't really well promoted because they still didn't understand how to do it. But that's what happened.
9 months in darkness, total darkness. Then we born into the light, giving thanks for the days and the nights. This is life.
We born today and gone the next. This is life. Taking soldier steps, have no regrets. This is life.
Live it up.
The sun will rise, the sun will set. This is life.
Give it up.
We born to live, so don't forget. This is life. When you're done your best, you have no regrets. This is life.
Sperm to an egg, prince to a king. It was sent through my genes, run thick through my veins. The seed, the tree, the yin and the yang. It's the God within. I reject your King James. No chains on my neck, but my mind bling bling. My future is not defined by street dreams. The sky is the limit. Gotta spread my wings and soar like brainwaves throughout the cosmos. As above, so below to the crossroads. Bringing strength to a heart that has lost hope. Like it's a metaphor of the seasons. Is it time in your life for some spring cleaning? You got to live it to understand it. We only get a moment on the planet. Don't take it for granted. When you fall into a winter and your heart turn cold like December, the summer gon' come back. Remember, this is life.
We born today and gone the next. This is life. Taking soldier steps, have no regrets. This is life. This is life. The sun will rise, the sun will set. This is life. We born to live, so don't forget. This is life. This is life. When you're done your best, you have no regrets. This is life.
Mr. Curtis, you have been lawfully tried in this court and found guilty on all charges. I do hereby sentence you to the custody of the Attorney General of the United States for a period of 15 years to life.
This is life.
The gavel slammed down, fuck you, your magistrate. Another man down for a year and a date. The hibernate, a Manchurian candidate. Fucked by the state, or is he touched by the hand of fate? It ain't the end, it's the start. Depend on your heart, it's a dark like night vision in darkness. Against the odds like a lotus in the forest. Concrete and bars is just soil for the harvest. You bout to incubate, rewind, rethink your fate. Reinvigorate, reach out for bigger stakes. Reinvent yourself, turn your worries into wealth 180 degrees. You gon' pinch yourself in your chromosomes buried in your DNA. It's somebody that's waiting to get free today. Either man up or you could take the easy way. Ain't nobody promised tomorrow, that's why you gotta live life.
We born today and gone the next. This is life.
Live it up.
Taking soldier steps, have no regrets. This is life. This is life. The sun will rise, the sun will set. This is life.
Like it's
life.
Hip hop can give you therapy and piss you off. You know, it can either or at the same time. Sometimes that's what made hip hop rise to the front of music. You know what I mean, and represent so many diverse places and people because it's willing to change. It's willing to be brand new every day. You know. It's our culture. Hip hop is not me rapping. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is the culture that consists of what you might say, what you might wear, what you might draw, what you might build, how you might think. You know what I mean? You know, it's your whole way of life. You know what I mean? And in life, we need more than shit to listen to. You know what I mean? That's why, to me, like Truly Living Farms out here in Atlanta is a good example. That's hip hop. And this a brother Rashid. He got urban farms, you know, right in the hood, right behind his house, and right on the side of this strip. He got an organic, composted, totally organic farm. You know what I mean? With, you know, all the vegetables and shit we need. You know, right in the hood, right there. You know what I mean? Right there. That's hip hop. If mainstream means most of the people, the mainstream, right, of the world, then most of the people. And in fact, in the upper 90% of the people is struggling. Most of the people ain't got no Bentley. Most of the people ain't got none of the stuff that they say is mainstream, right? So we've always felt like we the mainstream. We the most mainstream rappers on the planet. You know, for real. You know, as far as underground, you know, I guess. You know, I never associate. I wanted to be associated with that term because it limits you as far as you know, perceptions or whatever people have. Like, we really come to break perceptions. We ain't come to be in a box. People say we political. You know, we rebel against that. People say we conscious. We rebel against that. You know what I mean? Some people say we gangster and like violent and racist, and we rebel against that. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't come here to be defined. You know what I mean? We came here to help give some definition. We just wanted to be music that's really about life from a real place. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, politics, but not just politics. You know what I mean? Having children. You know what I mean? Getting money. You know, we don't always want to write the song from the right point of view. We want to just show reality.
Artists haven't gone anywhere. You know what I mean? The artists who are saying stuff are still saying stuff. Matter of fact, some people are dumbing it down so they trying not to say nothing, you know, or acting more unintelligent than they actually are because it's not what's cool right now.
Like, even on the labels that we was on, they would literally tell us that your music is too intelligent for the hood. Like, they would, like, the executives and motherfuckers, whatever, who work there would literally say, well, yeah, I know y'all want to go do X, Y, and Z in Brownsville, or, you know what I mean, wherever in Houston, but you know, the people are not that sophisticated, you know, and like try to promote that kind of shit.
I think it's crazy because in order to say something as an MC, you got to know something. You can't just talk, and that's what's happening is that, you know, right now the way that the system is set up, artists are groomed not to say stuff on purpose. Artists are groomed out of a kind of, you know, the stable is made to just for the dance. It's just for entertainment.
The music business, man, you know, it's an opportunity, right? You know, to make a living, you know what I mean, in certain kind of ways. But it's also just like any other making a living under this system. You know what I mean? It's mad pimping, exploitation, and just cutthroat business and politics that a nigga be dealing with all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Hip hop has become this like elitist kind of thing where like they're only letting a few people in to be able to say the things that can be said, you know, so